Welcome. My name is John K. Arnold, and I've been in the insurance business for more than 30 years. I've been doing international health insurance since the late 1990s. So I want to give you a brief description of this and kind of show it like a client might see it. I want to talk a little bit about travel health insurance, worldwide medical air services, and international health insurance, which is also international travel insurance and permanent international plans. So let's have a look and maybe see how our client might be looking at this. First off, they wonder, well, what is international insurance? International health insurance is needed anytime a U.S. resident or citizen goes out of the U.S. International health insurance is also for non-U.S. citizens and non-residents anywhere in the world, including the U.S. So travel health insurance generally is a focus on going out of a home country, whether that home country is the U.S. or another country. International health insurance covers all varieties of this, whether it's travel health insurance or permanent plans. It doesn't matter what the reason is. It can be for travel, work, study, or to live. It can be at any age, and it can be for any amount of time. So why does anybody need this? Let's say they have coverage whatever country they're in, whether that's the U.S. or another country. First off, when you go out of that area, you're going to find that foreign providers, and that's foreign to wherever you may be from, generally going to pay them directly, and sometimes that is before the service, and always at the time of service. So if you're in the hospital, imagine, would your U.S. hospital want to bill Canada, UK, or some foreign insurance company? Well, think about that too. The carriers outside the U.S. are scared to death of U.S. healthcare costs. So in order for a person to come here and have any kind of coverage, they need to get a U.S.-based travel health insurance plan. Well, let's talk about travel and trip insurance. Trip insurance is not travel health insurance. It's to cover a trip, and it's valuable for that kind of thing. But when it comes to health insurance, the coverage is incidental at best. And there's other factors that go into this. People find out later that, it's going to only pay after their U.S. primary plan pays, if the U.S. primary plan has any coverage at all, and that is not like travel health insurance. It may be on an out-of-network basis, and it definitely is not at the time it's going to occur. Well, let's say you're off somewhere, and you have a medical emergency or a medical situation of any sort. We'll look at some little more problematical things, bigger claims. But, there you are in some foreign country, and that hospital wants payment at that time. The doctors want payment at that time. They're not going to bill back to some insurance company, like your whatever U.S. domestic plan. Well, that's where travel health insurance companies come in. This is what they're used to doing. A travel health insurance company has the ability to wire that hospital money and to work with them on getting you out of that situation. Here's something else that needs to be considered. How will emergency medical transport be paid? Well, within these plans, there's often, a medical evacuation. But let's look at it on a broader way. Let's talk about full medical transport. For example, simple example. Coming from Bahamas over to Fort Lauderdale, Miami Hospital. That's a $15,000 medical helicopter trip. Now, on these islands, they also want to be paid up front. They're not just going to transport and go, I'll bill for some claim or something like that. Nope, doesn't work that way. Well, they've been in the insurance business a long time. We definitely know what this means. It won't happen to me. Well, the truth is it may not. We don't know who things are going to happen to. We just know that they're going to happen to somebody. We know that for a fact. We just can't pick who. So we have to look at it no matter. Well, probably it won't, but let's see that it is. Does it matter? Will it change your life? Is it a big thing? Will you be able to handle it? Now, when it comes to things we're going to talk about here, they can get very, very big and become a huge problem in multiple ways. The problem is financial, but that's not the only problem. The problem can also just be logistical. What do you do in the situation? How do you handle it? How do you get from one place to the other? Are you in the best facility you can for that, injury or illness? If a person is injured or sick, then hours, minutes, or sometimes even seconds really matter. Time spent figuring out, where to go, what to be transported, what's the best facility, and in the process, it's all got to be paid for. And like I said, on many islands, they're not going to transport without payment. Most countries are that way. That can be life-changing or even ending. Simple example is a head injury. Someone bangs their head fairly hard, let's say. They think they're all right. Well, we know, and all of us have heard of many situations where that wasn't the case. One case it is, and one case the person has a problem and may even die. Now, it takes equipment that not all facilities have to be able to determine that. Where would that be? And going to wait and figure it out and find out too late? Well, it is something serious. Doesn't have to be. Not necessary. So what do? Really simple. Always have travel health insurance for the trips or any time outside the U.S. Spend long times out of the U.S.? Well, let's talk about a permanent worldwide international health insurance plan. Covers everywhere in the world. Let's say a person works overseas. Well, sometimes they're working for a company overseas, and that company, yeah, they'll take care of them, but they want to come back into the U.S. People often think, oh, my Medicare will take care of me. No. Even those plans say out of the U.S., you're back in the same predicament you were in before. What are you going to do on the spot when it happens? And there's problems in Medicare transport, even for people in the U.S. Now, really you have to think about this. Covering for all emergency medical transport, including ground ambulance, medical helicopter, medical jet, or commercial airline with medical assistance in or out of the U.S. Doesn't matter. People that travel within the U.S. have a motorcycle, RV, do power sports, do skiing, do extreme sports, have a yacht, have a health condition, have an whatever the thing is, they could be in a situation where they need to get to the right facility. And they may find, yes, they recover and are facing a $10,000, maybe $20,000 transport bill. Medicare has holes in the coverage there. And there are many, many, many people on Medicare and going into Medicare. So let's look at another part of that. Being somewhere, whether it's far away from home within the U.S. or outside of the U.S., now in a hospital somewhere and thinking, well, of course that whatever my insurance says will take me back to wherever my home is. No, they won't. Okay? We have a problem. How medically to get back to a home area hospital? If a person has an RV, how's that RV going to get back? A person has a motorcycle, how's that going to get back? A person is in Mexico, needs to get back to the home hospital in their, home city, Los Angeles, Phoenix, New York, wherever that happens to be. How are they going to get back to there? This can be solved, and it actually can be solved quite easily if you just know how to do it. So how do you do it? Well, generally, I've got a few websites that I send people to. Here's a couple you can look at, you can see for yourself. It's got a little bit of information, and it directs you off into some others that have more. I often put a lot of information in mine. One is because I'm always working with a lot of agents, and I want to make sure that you have access to information anytime you want. But also clients know that, we're going to cover everything. It can be a few pictures, but basically, I like people to know what we do, because what we do I'm very, very proud of. So let's see what one of those sites at a glance might look like. Well, here's one. Fairly simple. We're going to cover a few things. We've got Massa Medical Air Services, oldest, largest of these. Definitely something we want to get you contracted with. International Health Travel Insurance. Got great carriers over there, got the best of the companies, best of the plans, and the best of the contracting. Now, why would I have dental plans on there? Well, to give you an idea, I work with a lot of non-U.S. citizens coming in, and they can have a dental problem. This plan can be done right away on the spot. You want to have that, they can get signed up, they can get their discounts. It's not going to take care of all of them. Of course we know that, but it's going to help. Doctors for Visitors solves a very specific problem. People that visit may run out of, lose, misplace, whatever the reason is, a prescription they've been taking for years, they need it refilled. It's going to take a U.S. medical doctor to do it. This is the way we can do it right from their home they're visiting, the hotel room, or anywhere. Think of somebody on a trip, and they don't have their blood pressure medicine, and they've got to get to that important business meeting, or they've got events with their family. This can do it right away, really efficiently, and really at a good cost. Next, hey, give me a call, contact me, send me an email, fill out the form, and we'll get something back to you. These are all ways you can do it. Got forms online, tell me what you need, I'll work with you. Set up webinars, work with you one-on-one, however you need to do it. I've been doing this business for many, many years, and I want to help you get going on it too. I look forward to working with you. Let's get you started and going. Thanks. My name is John K. Arnold.